Just because her child farted, she immediately threw it in the sky. Not because she was mentally sick, but because in the year 2032, a monster appeared on the earth that didn't like the smell of farts at all. Anyone who dared to fart would be killed at once. People didn't dare to do it, so they had to be careful every time they went to the bathroom. But sometimes, it couldn't be helped. This family was about to eat when suddenly Tom's stomach made a noise.
Eric? Honey, just don't think about it.
Just hold it in, buddy.
But Tom was having a diarrhea and wanted to let it go, and it was about to happen.
No, keep it in. No.
But how can you hold it in when it's almost out?
I can't.
That was over. The fart smell would spread, and the monster would arrive soon. To stay safe, the family hurried Tom out of the house. Tom tried to run away, but was caught and killed. John was about to go to bed when his wife Lucy suddenly farted under the sheets. John asked, "Why do you fart if you don't want to die?"
Check this out. The old man sees a caterpillar struggling to reach the leaves, so he gives it a little trim, making a bunch. There you go, back home. He's getting ready for bed when he hears nudging sounds. He goes over, gently tells it to keep it down, but in no time, he hears it again. So he puts on earmuffs, grabs a sack, and puts a black thing on the leaves. Then he goes back and hits a button.
Patience is key in life.
This guy wanted to buy a bulletproof vest and spotted a cool black one. The owner walked over, so he asked about the quality. He immediately put it on, pulled out a gun, and told him to shoot. The guy flat out refused, but the owner insisted because he was super confident. The guy ended up in jail. His girlfriend visited him, and they had a great chat. He told her, "One more year, and I am out." She took out her phone to show the good times they had. Accidentally, there were pictures of her ex-boyfriend, and the guy was heartbroken. The girlfriend reassured him that wouldn't happen again, and the guy forgave her. Time to leave, the girlfriend was unwilling to say goodbye, and the guy was devastated.
This old lady was gambling and lost her golden teeth, got so mad that she became the third emoji in your phone. So, she decides to get back on the table. When they're not looking, she sneaks in her own dice, presses a button, and tosses it on the table. She loses again. When they take away her dice, she presses her earphone, and boom, the dice turns into a robot. It jumps off the tray, throws the manager's card into the trash, where the lady hides. Then she enters the elevator. Suddenly, the manager realizes the card is gone, hits the alarm. But the old lady, cool as a cucumber, takes out 2 laser pens, slides a big hole in the elevator floor, and lands right in front of the vault door. Oh my god, there's a laser trap. She sends the robot to check it out. The robot dodges obstacles, uses its foot to crack the code. Next, she puts on gloves and jumps into the trap. Her gloves are sticky, like Spider-Man. At that moment, the vault door starts closing. She rushes towards it, but surprise, surprise, the manager walks in. His appearance makes her fall, but she doesn't give up. She smears lubricant on her knees and successfully slides into the vault.
Mike was under a curse that if he drank water, he would be teleported to the desert. After 500 years, Mike finally made it back home. He leaped into the pool for a shower, only to find himself back in the desert soon after. Another 500 years passed, and Mike hailed a car with the same driver. Finally, he found himself at home again, lying on his beloved sofa. Having gone without a drink for 1,000 years, Mike couldn't take it any longer. So, he turned on the tap, filled a glass with water, and added ice cubes. He was curious to see if he could quench his thirst with just his mind. However, Mike was so thirsty that he dipped his finger into the water, placed it in his mouth, and sucked hard. Then, Mike realized he hadn't been transported to the desert this time. He tried again, still without teleporting back. So, Mike continued dipping his finger in the water and even lifted the glass and drank from it. It was the first time he had drunk water in a long while. Have you ever felt the relief of finally drinking water after enduring thirst for so long? Check this out. There's this guy doodling on his notebook. He sketches out a banknote and would open his cabinet. Lo and behold, there's an extra bill in there, like he totally expected it. Turns out, just a moment ago, he drew an apple in his notebook. The minute he put the pen down, the cabinet makes this weird sound. So, he cautiously walks up, opens the cabinet, and boom, there's an apple inside, identical to the one he drew. It's like he's witnessing the money god streaking in front of him, and that's how the whole thing starts. But wait, he's not satisfied. He looks at the bill in his hand, then casually puts it back. He turns back to his notebook, adds some shadows to the bill, and bam, the $100 suddenly becomes a grand. Seeing a fat stack of bills in his hand, the guy's pretty pleased with the result. And then, he gets this new idea. He grabs his pen, quickly sketches a few lines on the notebook, and on closer inspection, it's a freaking lifelike sketch of a person. Right then, someone knocks on the door. He puts down the unfinished sketch, gets up to answer the door. When he comes back, the cabinet slowly creaks open.
This guy's got this crazy left hand, anything he touches with it just vanishes into thin air. Wakes up in bed, touches a tissue, and poof, it's gone. Then he touches his phone, and bam, disappears. Tables, beds, even the floor, he touches it, and his whole house just goes up in smoke. Dude has no clue what's happening, runs his fingers through his hair, and suddenly half of it is gone. He feels up his clothes, and guess what? It's gone too. This bizarre show attracts a girl's attention, and she thinks he's some kind of creep, so she starts throwing punches. In the midst of the scuffle, the guy accidentally brushes against the girl's clothes, and yep, her outfit disappears too. Just when things couldn't get crazier, a passing cop sees the whole thing and thinks the guy's a pervert. Now the cop's chasing him down the street. As the guy crosses an intersection, a car comes driving by. To stop the car, he touches it, and the two people inside just drop out.
He went straight out the window. Tom stretched his whole upper body out of the plane. Such behavior stunned the front row of passengers, but Tom didn't think it was exciting enough. He risked his life by climbing out of the cabin and standing directly on the wing. However, what Tom did not expect was that the wind outside the plane was so strong that he was almost blown away. This happened at a height of 10,000 meters. If he had fallen, he would have been crushed to a broken bone. Luckily, Tom had been practicing walking for a few years and had good balance. After swaying from side to side, he finally stabilized, and the passengers in the front row were completely skeptical about life. Quickly, one of them took out his Huawei phone to take a picture. As soon as he saw someone taking pictures of him, Tom immediately felt the desire to perform and even posed towards the window. He was enjoying himself, but the people in the plane were in a terrible situation because Tom had opened the window, resulting in a large amount of cold air rushing into the cabin. The cabin temperature instantly dropped to -40 degrees.
This boy got a money tree. A wizard told him it would sprout cash within 3 days. The boy faithfully watered the tree every day and placed it right in the middle of the living room for the best ventilation. He stayed up all night, just hoping for that money tree to grow some moolah. Dad told him to sleep, but in no time, the kid was out again. Naturally, Dad didn't buy into this whole money tree thing and wanted to chuck it. The boy cried and begged to keep it because tomorrow was the 3rd day, and he was all hyped up, dreaming of money, money, money. On the 3rd day, Dad woke up to the sound of his son laughing. Lo and behold, there were actual $100 bill. The boy was over the moon, bragging to his parents and then dashing out. Mom was astonished too, but Dad smirked and said he placed the bill there. The wife was pleased, praising him as a great dad. Meanwhile, the little guy went eating with his buddy.
Bala just turned 25, and despite his young age, he's already lost 50% of his hair. Seeking a solution, his dad suggested an unconventional remedy involving a mix of beach cow dung and children's urine. Doctors blamed his hair loss to poor blood supply to the brain, telling Bala to always keep his head up whenever he goes to toilet or does reading. Thanks to his efforts, his hair continued to fall. Why does everybody have hair on their body, except for me? Bala considered it a possible God's punishment, because when he was little, he was thick-haired and popular, so he kept laughing at teachers who were bald. When he grew up, he found himself bald, losing both his girlfriend and a promising sales job. Watching dogs with their lush coats made him jealous. Though his friends suggested a wig, Bala refused. Real hair was the last symbol of his dignity. Bala's brother found a new way to hair transplant. However, the doctor said it was only possible if Bala used his own hair, but Bala was so angry,